The Grand Getaway is a VR experience where Wallace and Gromit go on an adventure. Wallace thinks he's going on his holidays, and things take a turn for the worst.
You're actually invited to play as various characters within the Wallace and Gromit universe, so you get the chance to live in their world and go on an adventure with them.
It's an opportunity for us to really get into the latest kind of cutting-edge technology, and Wallace, of course, is right up his street, to tinker with newfangled devices. And
because it's a first-person experience, and you can just explore this wonderful world, telling the story requires a very different set of mechanics to make it enjoyable, to make it funny, to make it characterful, and all the things that you would know and love from Wallace and Gromit, to make sure that they are still there, and that you feel like you've found them yourself rather than being told as you get told a story in a film.
So Bram and I work together as co-directors, where I guess in terms of responsibilities I take on more of the script writing.
And generally I try and colour in all the thoughts and ideas that come spewing from his brain.
And we're both driving the story together, liaising with Nick and Merlin about all the things that we want in that and how we're going to play it out, as well as No Ghost, our partners.
I try to take all of the most important narrative points and really find out where the gameplay connects to those and what enhances those and what sort of makes people travel through the story in a very interactive way, but in a way that they sort of never lose those narrative beats to the technology.
So the story of the Grand Getaway is Wallace is very excited at the beginning of our journey because it's time for summer holidays. He's off to Bognor Regis. He's a golfing fanatic, but he's got the wrong day. And he's got yesterday's newspaper. So they had to get packing really quickly. They get into the rocket because Wallace thinks this is the quickest way we can get down south, get to Bognor Regis to book into the campsite. And unfortunately, whilst practicing his swing in the rocket, he manages to cause an accident, knock the rocket off course, and they go tumbling through space, through an asteroid field, and end up on Mars. Designing
gameplay interactions for this sort of thing is definitely a difficult process, partly because of the idea that we need it to be accessible to lots of different people, and also the main thing we're sort of concerned about, especially in the early phases, is not interrupting the story too much. We want people to be able to be involved in what they're doing, but we don't want them to sort of lose that narrative thread going through.
We've had Wallace and Gromit in various different guises over the years, but we'd never brought them into virtual reality before. So, and it's amazing to be able to give an audience that opportunity to step into their world.
Coming into it is properly mind-blowing, and then once you're used to it, the immersion, you start seeing things all the details that are extras. The first time you're just going, whoa, this is amazing. And then you start to see all the additional bits and bobs that we pride ourselves in adding into our sort of visual experiences with Wallace.
To make the world itself, we scrutinised all of the films, and quite frequently there's things down in the studio here at Aardman that we were able to go and photograph and scan. Plus we've got a digital library here, so we plundered that and made sure that there's lots of key elements and a few Easter eggs tucked away in there as well.
We've been able to provide that solid understanding of how to essentially use technology to tell stories. The technology is the vehicle. It doesn't mean we're just doing a technological project or a purely immersive project. All of those things are there to further the narrative context of it.
For me, as the creator of Wallace and Gromit, to actually be on set, and actually be everything's my scale and look around and touch things, it's just, and actually see these things which have always been on film, are actually there. You can get inside Wallace and Gromit's rocket, you can walk around, you can look at things, pull levers and everything. And that in itself is just such a novel experience.
No, it's not edible, although alien babies do like cheese.